If you must know, this is going to be a giveaway. I'm giving this to a special family member subscriber on my channel. Pardon the the noise in the background, but yes, this is going to somebody. There goes my switch right there. But this right here is going to somebody. That's the switch right here for mine personally, and I'm using that right there. But this is going to a lucky person. All you have to do is subscribe, share, and like the comments and all of that, and you could be a lucky winner to get that.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cole 187. You already know Cole 187 is the movement. It is Friday. We made it through the week, baby. We made it through the week. Nintendo Switch 2 giveaway. You already know what the situation is. You gotta go ahead and you gotta like, comment, subscribe. You already know what the situation is. Join the family. I don't really like saying subs. You already know how I get with that. You know what I'm saying? Today is just me being thankful and reflecting on things in my life. You know what I mean? I went through some torment, guys. You know what I'm saying? Went through some torment. I went through a lot in my life. And I'm happy that I can reflect on it and give these type of tales and stories. Because I don't know who could be going through what I'm going through. And, you know, have been framed for things they didn't do. And had to literally wear that on their chest. You know what I'm saying? For a long period of time. Well, you can still be wearing that, right? So I remember where, you know, I had a DV situation, which I didn't do anything, right? Real talk. This is all a real story. Real story. Real story. It's going to get real, like super real. All right, cool. So at the time, I used to work for the Board of Education in Brooklyn, New York, right? Because that's where I'm from Brooklyn, right? So what happened was, working for the Board of Education, I was a cleaner. I was a custodian, you know, cleaner for the middle school. I'm not gonna say where, right? Well, it don't matter. It's not even there no more. I used to work at IS 302 over there on Atlantic Avenue. That's where I used to work at. Long time ago, right? So in the process of that, I was with my baby mother at the, you know, we was together for about 15 years. Before that, like, you know, at that time, I think we probably may have had been like 6-7 years. I can't really remember. So I remember that, you know, my baby mother was very promiscuous. You know what I'm saying? She did a lot of things that was just foul. You know what I'm saying? Like coming home at night, late night, you know, smell like she was smoking trees. You know what I'm saying? And then just, you know, exes following her, people that, you know, she used to like flirt with, you know what I'm saying, that I ended up catching over time, you know, that she was still around these people. I mean, it got so bad, one dude actually came to her uncle's funeral. Real talk, that I could not stand, right? And I still held it down. Everybody like, yo, why did you stay? Like, when you in love with somebody, and like, I get it, like, you know what I'm saying, like when you in that first deep love, like that person can't do no wrong, no matter what it is. Like, you serve them on a high pedestal. It's like, nah, this person can't do no wrong. No matter if they do wrong, you overlook it because you so, you know, your mind ain't right. You know what I mean? So I bet she out here being promiscuous, you know. Same time, you know, there was some girls that was involved too with the situation. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it is what it is. You know, she never, you know, said it wasn't. She always would deny it, but I knew for a fact there was more to the situation. But whatever, I digress. Right? So one day she was having issues with certain family members. Like, you know, pretty much they were putting like, you know, houses in her name. I'm not gonna say who. Putting cars in her name. And she took that really strong. And I would always tell her, like, you know, you need to go talk to these people. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like, it's making you feel some kind of way. I'm being supportive. But what she would do, because she was so frustrated, she would take it out all on me. And I was like, yo, I have nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? And I mean, you know, she would walk. She did go up to him. You know what I'm saying? And then they would deny it. Right? All right, cool. So one day she was just really upset. She came home from work and it was late, but I mean, she didn't have her key, but she's banging on the door and I didn't know who it was. Like, she didn't call me. I mean, I'm just like, it's like a bang. Like, you would thought police was coming through the door. So I was like, yo, who is this? So I look, you know, I put the chain lock on. I look like, yo, it's her. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? And her eyes is like bloodshot red. You would have thought that she was walking with a demon. You know what I'm saying? And She's like, open the door. I'm like, all right, weirdo. Well, I'm not opening up the door. I'm going to close it. I was like, where's your key? She didn't have it. I said, listen, the kids on top of that, we just had our daughter at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I just told her, I said, listen, I don't know what's going on with you, but I'm going to let you go ahead and do what you do, right? Point blank, period, right? You come back later on, because right now I don't know what's happening. You just bugging. All right, cool. And she left. Then she knocks on the door regular. She puts a fake smile on, which I knew it was fake, but I just wanted the peace to happen because, like I said, we had my oldest son sleep and we had my daughter sleep, right? Just had her, right? I don't know if she's going through postpartum depression. I really don't know what was going on at this time. And that, you know what I'm saying? So I slept on the couch because I just didn't feel comfortable. And I remember I texted my homegirl on, I think it was either Facebook. I can't remember. It could have been MySpace. I mean, it was a long time ago. And I was like, yo, if you find out that I'm unalive, that was my baby mom. So I don't know what's wrong with her. She bugging right now, right? I go to sleep. I guess during some time of the hour, she took my phone. I had a dentist appointment that next following day. And I'm like, hey, where's my phone? Ready to go, blah, 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 blah. She's like, I don't know where your phone is. I'm like, well, can you call it on your phone? Because I need to know, you know. So she was like, I'm not calling it on my phone. So then I knew for a fact she had my phone. I was like, you know, listen, I need my phone, blah, 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 blah. She still wasn't trying to hear me. All right. I was like, let me just go ahead and take this shower real quick. You know what I mean? So I get in the shower. At the time, I wasn't a bodybuilder. I was like 140 pounds. And at the time, she had to be 285. She had to be between 280 and 285. She was big. You know what I'm saying? I don't disrespect, you know what I'm saying? I don't discriminate, you know what I'm saying? Personality goes a long way. No, that was the only big girl I ever dated. You know what I'm saying? But she's changed all that now, right? But anyway, so I'm sitting there and she's holding me in the shower. Talking about, you're not going anywhere, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yo, you are bugging out right now. You holding me in the shower. You know what I'm saying? And like, she's just like holding me. I was like, yo, this is crazy. I said, yo, you are bugging out right now. I don't know what's wrong with you, right? So in the midst of it all, right, I get out the shower, trying to find my phone, whatever. She doesn't help me find it. She goes, oh, when it comes down to it, I'm moving to North Carolina and you ain't gonna see your kids ever again. I was like, I didn't even do nothing. I'm like, yo, I just need my phone. I need to go. You bugging out, right? And I at that point, I was so mad. And people know when I get upset, I say the B word. Like, like I don't try to. At that time, I don't care. Like, at that point, I was a totally different person. Like, I was profanity, the whole 9 yards, right? So I'm like, I can't believe, you know what I'm saying? I said, I can't believe this B is acting like this, but I'm talking to myself because I'm trying to, like, because now I'm getting agitated. And not only that, I'm trying to leave out the door. She was 280 pounds, 200, around there, and she's like blocking her body by the door. And I didn't want to cause unnecessary ruckus or, you know, use force to some form of fashion, and then I actually do, you know, hurt her, whatever. I didn't want that. So I was just like, yo, can I just go? She wasn't trying to let me leave. So I'm talking to myself. I get punched in the face. Wow! Because, you know, I called out her name. All right, cool. I said to myself the second time, I said, I can't believe this B hit. Wow! Second time, and she hit hard, right? You got to think about it. It's 280 pounds of force. Y'all got to understand that joint's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, boom. The third time, because I said it again, I said, this big biggity B. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm trying to, I guess in a moment to reflect, I was throwing an insult at the same time trying to make myself laugh because, like I said, the number one thing I don't do, I don't put my hands on no female. So this time, I mean, she used all her might and she was like, wham! You know what I'm saying? And for self-defense, I pushed her because I was like, yo, you doing too much. This is all real story, y'all, right? Didn't even want to do that. So she drops to the floor. She starts hallucinating and act like something's wrong, whatever, foaming at the mouth. I was like, what the heck is wrong with you? Cut this crap out before our son sees it. As soon as I say that, my son starts walking out the door. What's going on? She jumps out of her hallucination. I don't know how you jump out of that. That's crazy, right? And she's like, get away from your father. He's just like his father. Never met my father. It was weird, right? So she calls her Pops. Pops was like, you put your hands on my daughter? Which I get at the end of the day. why a father would say that and how he would feel. I'm not taking nothing away from that. But I was like, yo, she punched me in my face 3 times. I tried to walk away. She's not letting me leave out the house. And I can't even call nobody. I didn't even have a phone. She took my phone. You know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, call the cops. So she was like, you better get out of here. Because I'm calling the cops. And I didn't want the cops coming to my job and me getting arrested at the job, y'all. So I stayed. I was like, no, I didn't do nothing. You sat there and did what you did. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stay right here. Now, mind you, this is where I was wrong at, right? Because I wasn't trying to frame her for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, the cops came. I thought maybe she would, like, chill out, whatever. Yo, she played a whole different role, kid. It was crazy. When I'm telling you, like, yo, she needed to be an actor. It was wild. Super wild. So she goes to the wall where the kitchen was, and she slides down, right? So she starts looking for any little marks that she just had just from like life, right? Cops come in. No marks, no black and blue, no nothing, because I didn't put no hands on her. I just, like I said, I pushed out self-defense. That was it. They come, and mind you, my baby mom is like light skinned. She lighter than me, kid. She like, let me see. Hold up, my fault, y'all. She like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, she light, right? So they're like, what happened here? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, he put his hands on me. I'm like, yo, you lying. Now I'm sitting in the chair, right? Because I'm not moving. But I'm like, I told her, I said, yo, stop lying. And at the time, I wasn't the person I am today. Like, I wouldn't elaborate things. I wouldn't break things down. I was more of a just stop lying. And at the same time, like, I was a street dude. You know what I'm saying? I was totally different. So I was just like, yo, stop fronting. Like, that's not what that is. So she was just like, and they was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel? She's like, I'm a 11. I said, what? Like, and the cops was just like, well, we got to handcuff you. I said, yo, you don't see my face? Yo, my face was like this. Like, my face was swollen. I said, yo, y'all don't see my face? Look at my face. I didn't do this to myself. She did this. Right? Boom. I get locked up. Now I'm in jail. Right? Well, I'm at a hearing, so you're in a holding cell before they even put you in jail. You don't go to jail right away. You gotta go through this whole process. You gotta talk to, I guess it's like a interpreter or whatever. They ask you about your story if you want to tell your story. I told my story because I didn't do nothing, right? Then they start putting, you gotta do your little fingertip things, you know, you don't do it, well, I don't know how they do it now, but I know at that time you do your fingerprints when you get to the county, you know, the county jail, like the little precinct, whatever, right? So then we had a hearing. I had to wait for my hearing. It happened all on a Friday, right? So boom, the judge, the judge was black. I've always had a black judge. It's wild. So black judge comes in. So now I have my lawyer, whatever, my public attorney. She comes in. Come to find out the story that I told, because they asked her for her story. They showed that she was the one who like pretty much started the situation and caused the issue. But her lawyer, her public attorney or whatever, was like, it don't matter. He's in the system, and we gotta go through the process straight like that. Yo, it happened in December, yo, on a Friday. I think it was right before Christmas. It's crazy, right? So they go, well, what are we planning to do? And he was like, so the judge was like, well, the next court hearing will be like, what should we have it at? Her lawyer was like, it's gonna be on his birthday. What? My birthday? For real? I'm having a court case on my birthday? Yo, it was wild, yo. So boom, I go back. I'm thinking I'm gonna stay at the, you know, I never been to jail at that time. Never went, you know what I'm saying? Never been held up, never been locked up, nothing like that. So, I mean, I get my hearing, whatever. They take me downstairs, and I'm telling you, like, just jail cells are just disgusting. Like, the toilets, the seats, it's just, oh, man, it's disgusting. Right? So I'm thinking I'm going to be in a public precinct. Like, I ain't going to go anywhere else. Nope. So they locked me up. They was like, yo, we got to take you to Westchester County. I went to Westchester County, right? Because I was living in Mount Vernon at the time. So I go to Westchester County. Before we even do that, they got to lock you up. It's like, I think it was like 5 per chain or whatever. So you locked up, and then like how they had it, you know, I don't know how certain, I seen certain like jail spots where they like put you on the bus. Nah, we was lined up in this truck where it was 5 on one side, then there was like a wall, then there was another 5 on the other side. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, I was locked up with a dude who just murdered like 5 people, like that morning, and he was built like he was about my size, and I was 140. So you gotta think about it. My man's like, I don't care, do it again. And this dude's like, I'm just like, you know, like I said, what I'm gonna do. This dude is a natural born killer. He just killed 5 people. He know he going to jail for life. I'm not letting this man snap my neck. I just gotta deal with what I gotta deal with. I ain't no punk, but I know listen, you gotta know where you at. So boom, I had to deal with that. That dude was pissed, and I was locked up with this other dude who I'm talking about as far as the car, not in the prison, but locked up with this dude that I was chained with this guy that was, I guess he like, I don't know, I think he liked dudes, whatever. He was an older cat. And then I remember like he tried to brush his head against my shoulder, and I popped it, like, cause I was locked up, so I can't really hit him. So I was like, you bugging, get off me, right? All right, boom. So now, mind you, it's cold, it's freezing. You know what I'm saying? And like, I didn't have no jacket, nothing like that. I still got on regular clothes. We had to sit there and wait for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So the dude that brushed his shoulder against me started wilding out when we finally started getting out. I guess he was trying to run. Man, they tased him. Yo, when you tase somebody, like, the smell is crazy. Burnt flesh, like cooking, is crazy. It's crazy, right? So we sat there, finally got him up to, and I mean, it is freezing. It is cold. It was just cold. And I'm shaking, right? It's cold, right? And I guess these people been in jail before. Some people knew each other. They didn't know me. And I just stayed quiet because I don't know nobody. I ain't trying to be friends with nobody. I don't care. Don't want to be around nobody. You know what I mean? All right, boom. We get to the spot where they tell you to take off your shoelaces, your belt. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you could use as a weapon, whatever. They take all that off you. All right, cool. So they take all that off me, right? So now we in the waiting cell, because before you go into the waiting cell, right? Well, while you're in the waiting cell, I guess they're evaluating everybody, so they're going to check you. You know, if you want to you got to take a TB shot. You got to take if they want to give you a blood test, and then you also got to do that whole check, spread your legs and all that, which pissed me off. I mean, you just feel, I'm going to get to that in a minute. So, but in the holding spot, until they do that, there was 2 phones in the Westchester County joint where they put us at. I think it was like 2 or 4, right? So, you know what I'm saying? I get to the phone, call my mom's. I hear people start talking crazy, like they trying to stop me from talking or whatever. I wasn't hearing none of that. Like I said, I ain't the biggest, I ain't trying to be the tough guy, but at the end of the day, I'm not no pushover. It's just not gonna happen, right? So I call my mom's. I'm like, yo, mom, this the situation, boo boo. Did you put your hands on your baby mama? No, I didn't put my hands on her. She pushed me 3 times. She punched me in my face 3 times, and she lied, right? And I mean, I think my bail bond was like, I think it was like 10. Nah, I think it was like 25,000. But I guess it's 10% of that, so I think it was like 2,500 to get me out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother. Shout out to my sister-in-law, right? So boom, and I remember I'm sitting there, and I'm like just waiting. So the dude that brushed his head against me, this dude had the audacity to come over and try to act up again, right? So I wrapped my hand around the phone. Right, because I just felt like this dude was trying me. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew I was new. I was quiet, so I guess he was trying to see what he was going. Like, I'm sorry, no disrespect to anybody. Like, you gonna have to kill me, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not wearing no pumps. I'm not that It's not happening. It's just not happening. I don't care who you are, right? You gonna have to kill me. That's just what it is. So as soon as he tried, whatever, I literally wrapped the phone around what's the name. As soon as he came to me, I clocked him because I knew what he was trying to do. Cops come in because I didn't stop. I hit him and I just kept hitting him, right? And they was like, what's going on? They tried to, they had the batons. They hit me a couple of times. Boop, 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 boop. They blocked me like, yo, what you doing? I was like, yo, he kept trying me. You know what I'm saying? And then shout out to the people that was in the cell, in the holding cell. They was like, nah, old boy was trying. And then they realized who it was. They see what happened. I could have got charged for that situation, but they didn't hit me with it. So I shout out to them. Even though they were still jerks inside that jail. I mean, jail, they treat you like dirt. So I'm sitting there, and now the guy comes to me, whatever. He's like writing, telling me whatever's going on, whoop-de-whoop. I'm upset, whatever. I'm like, dang, like, this is terrible. The dude was like, yo, it's crazy that, because he saw me, like, he asked me about my case. I said, yo, I didn't do nothing, bro. I work for the Board of Education. Like, I never had this type of situation. It was like, nah, I hear you. So, boom, that happened. After that happened, you know, you got to get your clothes, whatever. But before once you get your clothes, that's when they tell you to go into your little line, and then, you know, you got to go ahead and they tell you to strip naked, and, you know, yo, it's so, I don't know how people be like, I love jail. I can't, yo, and people that would, I don't like it, haven't been there in God knows how long. Like, for real, jail is not where it's at, bro. It's just not. It's not. Like, you gotta understand, yo, they're gonna tell you to get bucket naked, and you gotta literally spread your butt cheeks to like 5 people evaluating you, bro. Know what I'm saying? Like, that's not cool, son. That's not cool. Know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna lie to you. I went back to him before I even did it. I was like, yo, like, you know, can I, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Can I have like a female? Like, I don't mind if it's a female. You know what I'm saying? But y'all all dudes, bro. Dude sat there and said, if you don't do it, we'll do it for you. I said, you know what? You know what? This is crazy. It's crazy. I just kept saying it was crazy. So after that happened, I go in solitary. Like, they asked me where I wanted to go. I said, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be in PC. You call me what you want. I don't care. No, I'm saying I don't care. I was like, I'd rather talk to myself and be crazy. That's real talk. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you want to be in solitary confinement? I said, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I went in there. You know what I'm saying? They gave me my little slips. Got my jumpsuit. They give you like crayons. I remember I had like crayons. I think a coloring book. I was like, what am I going to do with this? You know what I'm saying? And then like, it was a blanket and all that. So I get inside the cell. You know, I'm in my cell, whatever. And like, there's a rat in my cell. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So I stood up the whole entire time looking at the wall. Know what I'm saying? And then it was like, yeah, lights off, whatever. You want to talk about paranoid? Yo, it was crazy. It was so crazy. Dudes holding the mirror, know what I'm saying? Looking at the moonlight, trying to talk to you like they know you. Yo, it was wild, son. Know what I mean? But I didn't stay in that long. I didn't stay in that long. My brother came and got me. I remember when I heard it. It was right before everybody was going to sleep, bro. My brother, like, shout out to my brother and my sister-in-law, yo. I love y'all. I would never take that away from y'all, ever. I remember this clear as day. And, you know what I'm saying? My brother was like, you good? I said, no, I'm good. I said, I'm fine. Thank you for getting me out, because it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? If you want to hear part 2, it's 3 parts of this. If you want to hear part 2, I'll give you part 2 of it and part 3. But you guys let me know. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I got out of jail. But there's still more to that case. It's way more. But that's part 1. You want to hear part 2, leave a 1 in the chat. Or write, yes, we want to hear the next part of it. Yeah, like I said, you know what I mean? It's crazy. But again, the Nintendo Switch 2 giveaway. And again, there's going to be something extra in the background. So just stay tuned. I'll holler at y'all. Peace.